Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the playultra podcast. I'm Shar, and joining us today would be John, Jonathan, and Nathan. What's up, guys?
Hey, not a lot.
Not much. How you doing?
E3.
Everybody good? Yeah. So, the biggest news would probably be E3, and that is what our podcast episode today will be focusing on. So, we're just going to be talking about mostly E3. But what's everybody been up to recently?
I just started taking a biology course, and it's complete hell. I'm finishing up my English degree, so it's completely terrifying taking a science class where I'm 3 years removed from any science, so I'm completely mortified. So if anyone knows good resources, let me know.
What are you doing that for? Just for personal growth?
That, and also it's a requirement. I wasn't paying very close attention to what I needed for my degree, and they're like, yeah, you need a science class. And I'm like, oh. And then they were like, well, you can take anthropology. And I was like, yeah, but I kind of want to take biology. So I took biology. The teacher is really funny. He talks about superheroes and stuff, but it's a lot of science stuff, which I should have expected, but I wasn't quite ready. So I'm just barely staying alive right now, but I'm hanging in there, I think.
You need a science class to graduate English?
Yeah, man.
Basic 101.
Do you have to take it as do you call it a minor?
You majors?
No.
You can take a minor. Yeah, it's really weird.
We don't have majors and minors over here. We just have this is what you're studying. Study it. That's it. Yeah. Since I left university, though, man. I'll tell you one thing. I said to myself, I was like, I'm never going to go back to uni. It's not happening. I hated it. I hated every second of university. I was miserable. But then I saw that the University of Chicago are doing a professional gaming degree. I was like, if that shit was over here, I'd be doing that instantly.
Game making?
Professional gaming. No, professional gaming.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, some professional gaming, esports.
I do know some colleges now have a team. This is our college League of Legends team or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have them over here as well. Not very popular, mind you, but we do have them.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you learn in a professional gaming course?
I read...
Etiquette.
I think it was mainly about... Because obviously esports is mainly about the professional gaming aspect. So, you play a game professionally. But as esports is growing larger, more and more opportunities are opening up in different fields, like event organizing, commentating, being an analyst, blogging and stuff like that. So it's all about trying to get you into the esports world, but not necessarily in a professional gaming capacity, because not everyone is good enough to be professional, and it's just a sad fact. But there are a load of jobs out there in esports that are available to everyone, really.
But usually those casters and announcers, they have a lot of experience with the particular game, right? And that's why they can analyze it so well.
You don't necessarily have to be good at the game, though. As long as you know how the game works, you don't necessarily have to be a professional level player. It helps, but there are a ton of casters out there who have never played the game professionally. They might play the game in spare time or whatever, but you don't necessarily have to have an immense high ranking or whatever.
like normal physical sports, the announcers usually have one ex-player and one guy who's more of a journalist kind of guy.
Yeah. They normally have play-by-play and colour commentator. So the play-by-play is the really analytical guy who will take you through everything that's happening.
But what I don't get is even the sports announcers. Let's look at a physical sport. So you have an ex-player and a sports announcer that's watched a lot of matches, right? So what do you learn in a degree, in a general professional gaming degree? Wouldn't it be better for you to just play the game and analyze the game for yourself?
If you want to be a commentator, yes, but it's mainly about the skills you need to enter esports, essentially. Because like I said, esports isn't just playing the game in professional capacity, nor commentating. There are tons with these bigger competitions coming out, there are tons and tons. Journalism is a good example. The jobs in esports journalism is only going to go up and up.
Or MMO journalism actually is quite big.
Yeah. It's all getting bigger as these competitions and gaming as an institution gets bigger. The opportunities are just ridiculous. The amount of stuff you can achieve while not playing in a professional capacity is unthinkable to what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you were either a professional gamer or you weren't in esports. That's it. That was the job. And now it's more, journalism, event organizer, commentators, analysts, all these different things.
I guess it's a good thing if you can get an internship from that degree.
Yeah, like if you could get an internship at Valve or something like that, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
It does seem weird to me, though, because we don't have, So I like to put esports... It's on the same thing as like any other competitive sport, and you don't get a degree in football, so I don't... It's just weird.
You can do.
Yeah.
You can do.
You get scholarships.
I've never heard
that's
of
all.
that.
That's,
right,
that's
you get a scholarship, but you're not being taught to play.
You can't... over here, you'll get stuff that is similar, but normally that comes under extracurricular.
Exactly. You're studying whatever bullshit thing you're studying while you're actually doing the sport thing.
I think the reason why it's majorly different is because sports such as American football and soccer and all these things have been around for hundreds of years. Esports is a relatively new thing, so the amount of knowledge that the average Joe has to know how to get into the scene is going to... I wouldn't even know where to start wanting to be a caster or whatever. So it's nice to have... Whether this is just a trial degree, I will say, in the University of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I read this a year ago. I don't know whether they're actually carrying it on still.
I think it's...
But they were trying it out.
Yeah, I think it's still going on, because I live in, or near Chicago anyway, and it's been mentioned before in newspapers and stuff like that. It's a really interesting degree thing. There's so many college courses that are about gaming and parts of gaming. You said, Jonathan, about MMOs. There are economy courses that dive into the economies of MMO games. And it's insane how in depth they get.
I would like to say a couple of things about that before we get started on E3. A couple of things that some people should look out for. One thing, just really funny, there was a StarCraft 2 degree that you could take at one of the University of Phoenix, I think.
Yeah.
Or somewhere like that. But the second thing is something that's really cool about the MMO thing before we carry on. Does anyone watch The Big Thing on YouTube?
I'm subscribed to it, but I don't watch everything they put out.
It's really, really, really cool. So they have these guests on and they talk about pretty much anything, and they get these people who obviously know their shit. And there was this dude who was a CEO of a big company in America. I can't remember which company. And he was talking about World of Warcraft. And he was saying that if two people came to interview for him, and one had a MBE, is it called, or whatever? What is it called? An MBA? MBA?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
Yeah.
If a guy has an MBA, a degree for that job, and then the other guy was a high-level World of Warcraft player, he would much rather hire the high-level World of Warcraft player over anyone with a degree. And he was the CEO of a company. And he delved into, talking about the economy, the kind of discipline you have to be in a high-level guild in World of Warcraft, all the social aspects that you won't get from everyday life. People like to dog on World of Warcraft quite a lot, saying it's sad and pathetic, but there are a lot of skills that you can learn from that you can apply to the real world, just like any game. That's why I love gaming so much. It's not. People say, "Oh, it's just games," though. To some people, it's not as simple as that. There's a lot that games have to offer to the everyman. It's all about learning.
It'll be cool in the future when companies ask you, what games do you play?
Yeah. I mean, I think the reason for it is that it's kind of difficult because gaming's relatively new. Obviously, as an industry,
it's very, very young.
Yeah, it's a very young industry. So to have someone like that say that you can learn a lot of things from this, that's pretty cool to me. It's because a lot of people like to say, "Oh, gaming is pathetic and all this, and it's sad," but gaming is starting to be taken more and more seriously, and it's only going to get bigger and only going to get more popular. So that's good.
I'm too close to tell. Nothing I'm exposed to is other than video games are awesome and cool in my daily life. So I need to pull back into the real world a little more.
I was talking to you about the international. Obviously, that's a perfect example. The International 2, the Dota 2 tournament, had a prize pool of, 2 million? And we're on the International 5 now, and today it hit 14.1 million. And it's not even until August.
Jeez. Wow.
They're still raising money for it. That shows you how gaming is growing. In the space of 2 years, they have increased the prize pool by over 13 million. That is so insane to me. It's really nice to look at statistics like that and see how it's progressing. And I think that's just really cool.
So what about John or Jonathan? How do we... John. So, yeah, John.
What's up?
So, what have you been doing? What have you been playing? What have you been playing?
Oh man, it's been rough, like honestly, since E3 was going on this week. I know there's some animosity towards it in the group right now, but I actually ended up watching most of the conferences. Like, I totally took a day off work and just sat down, watched every single like thing that was on during the day. It's kind of hit or miss for the most part. Otherwise, I've been playing Witcher 3 a good amount lately. I'm liking it a lot so far. Let me think what else I've been up to. Otherwise, yeah, what the hell is I playing right now? That's really all. That's all I've got. I'm sorry.
Nathan's wondering how the hell can you stand Witcher 3?
So that's the thing. I don't know how I stand it sometimes. Like, I think the like lore and world building stuff is really, really well done, but I feel like the combat can be kind of frustrating, along with the movement in the game is pretty fucking miserable. Just because
Are you using mouse and keyboard or controller?
I'm using a controller right now for it.
I used controller when I played it.
Oh.
When I played it with controller.
It's rough.
So much better.
Yeah. Oh,
it's so much better than mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. RPGs just work better on controllers. Just by nature. And I will agree, the world building in Witcher 3 was something that I haven't seen in a lot of games for a while.
Right.
Like, a lot of games like to shove flashy graphics in your face, but leave the ambience and other really important tools that gaming have at the door. But Witcher 3 really gets you involved in the world. The lore, on the other hand, I completely disagree. I think it's the worst written piece of shit I've played in a long, long time. I think that Geralt is one of the most unlikable characters I've ever played in a video game.
Is Witcher 3 based on a book?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. The books I've heard are good. I don't know.
Like, I know The Witcher is based on a book, but is Witcher 3 based on a book, or is it just like...
Yeah, no, Witcher's based on one of the... Witcher 3 is based on one of the books.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's part of the lore. It's taken from the book, yes.
A funny thing about Witcher 3, I think recently, when it just came out, I think like a few people were complaining that they did not have racial diversity.
Right, yeah. That was a big thing.
And Total Biscuit was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? It's like the game and the lore is all about the Polish people, right?
Right, yeah.
And on
All
Reddit there's like
Polish.
a bunch of Polish people saying like, I did not see a black guy until I was like 17.
Yeah. It was
If you go there, it's like all white.
Yeah, it is.
So Total Biscuit was saying like, why are we putting like American expectations or American like whatever on to CD Projekt Red
Yeah, totally.
when they are Polish? Yeah.
Something interesting that I think is really good to say really quickly is that yes, it's based on a book. I think that a lot of people like to say, yeah, Halo has the same problem. It's like, oh yeah, it's based on, the lore is incorporated into books and stuff like this, so it's good. The books have a very different way of reaching people's emotions. So in a book, it's all about your imagination, and that's why books can be so incredibly good, because they tug at your feelings in a way that moving pictures simply can't. And I think that's some of the things you lose when you actually shove what you're actually trying to say, so there is no interpretation. In a book, you can imagine a character to look a certain way, and there's another person will imagine to look a different way.
Yeah.
But in a game, they're telling you what you are seeing. And I think that that's why sometimes games and films based on books can sometimes, most of the time in fact, not be as good. Because they're actually telling you what's happening and not leaving it to your imagination. And, I think a lot of obviously stuff based on books is almost never as good. Like, I can't think of anything based on a book that's better.
I think because it just doesn't meet your expectations or something.
Yeah.
Because it's not your imagination rendering it. It's somebody else's vision and stuff.
Yeah, because you can make a book into whatever you want
Yeah.
in your mind.
Yeah.
So you tailor it to what you want, but there's less room for interpretation in multimedia, I think, is the thing.
What about Jonathan? What have you been playing? Or what have you been doing?
So I actually had a weird problem. Just a second. Where my normal feed of indie games that I play for my channel has been like dried up almost. Like there were still games being published, but there's less games being published, and almost none of them I was interested in. So I've been doing a little more AAA games this week. I did a co-op with a guy. We played Monaco, which isn't AAA, I guess, but it's a game more people have heard of. Yeah,
I think we should play that. Yeah.
I'd played it before. It's really good. I hadn't beaten it, so we played stuff I hadn't done, and they've changed it. Added new stuff.
Is it that heist game? I am thinking of the right.
Yeah, it's like the top-down heist
top-down,
game, basically.
Yeah.
And there was one indie game I played called A Dark Room, and I did it on my channel. And I don't think I did it well, because the game's kind of long and a little esoteric, and I tried to capture that, but it ended up being like a 35-minute long video, so no one's going to watch it. But it's a really cool game, because it's a browser game, and it starts off, like, I thought it was a text-based adventure. You know, it's like you're in a room, there's a fire, and you have a button for light the fire, so you click light the fire. And then it turns out not to be a text-based adventure. It turns out to be more like a cookie clicker game, where you're waiting for like a cooldown to gather wood. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. What's going on? And then I kept playing it anyway. And like some people joined my village, and I gathered more wood. And
I think I played this one.
I traded the wood and stuff for a compass, and then that unlocks a whole new game where you have a map and you can walk around on the map, but you go back to the cookie clicker thing, because it's where you get resources to fuel your expeditions on the map, and you're unlocking things on the map which to bring back, like, so now that I've uncovered like the iron mines on the map, I can assign villagers back on the cookie clicker to mine iron. It's like it just built up really quickly, and it was so cool. And I don't know, it really.
Okay, I did not reach the expedition part.
Yeah, that's the key.
I thought the entire game was just like the cookie clicker part, so I quit halfway.
That's understandable, because the cookie clicker part sucks. The only way I really got through it is I just left my computer on for a few hours and then came back and had so many resources I didn't have to click anything anymore, because it was a very slow trickle of passive resource gain. But yeah, it was great. It's on Greenlight, Steam Greenlight, so I'm not sure. That's how I found it. I'm not sure if they're trying to make more of it or somehow just bring it to Steam, because as it stands, as what I've played, I think it's too small to bring to Steam, so I don't know what their goals are. But if they're making more, I'd love it.
There are a couple like cookie clicker type games on Steam right now.
But this is so much more than a cookie clicker game.
Yeah.
Actually, right now, Steam is a cookie clicker game for the Steam sale.
Gosh, it's completely broken too right now. Like, some people are on these like ridiculously high levels. Like my girlfriend's on level like 80,000 or something like that.
80,000. I think the highest I made it was like 11,000.
Yeah, man, I don't know what happened to that thing.
Or 1,100.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I couldn't even manage to go in, so I have no idea what kind of game it is.
Well, I every day I join and I click play and I just leave, because you don't need to play it. I don't know why people actually play it.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly?
It's a cookie clicker game. You're in a lane and you're clicking on monsters to deal damage to them, and when they die you get gold, and you can buy gold to increase like how much damage you deal per click or how much HP you have and that kind of thing.
You can buy items like
what does it do?
There's like a nuke you can buy or something.
As you progress through the levels, as you get high enough as a Steam community, you unlock additional sales for the day.
Oh.
It's similar to what the Valve did for because actually it's Valve who makes total sense. So the compendiums that they sell to go towards the international, that's what you do. They set goals. So at 1 million you unlock something for the game. At 2 million you unlock something for the game. So it totally makes sense that they've done this for Steam, because it's a Valve corporation, game hosting site. So they've probably incorporated it from that, which I've always thought is a really cool idea. Rewarding your community for working together.
I do like the concept. I don't have to like the actual game, which is fine.
Oh, no,
I don't
yeah,
expect some well-polished, RPG from them or anything. I mean, a simple clicker is fine. It was good enough, I guess.
So Nathan, what have you been doing? Oh, sorry, have you?
No, I think I was just thinking. I think that's it. I'm gearing up for Dark Knight next week.
Ah, okay.
Or Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight.
Did you pre-order it?
I ended up pre-ordering it.
Where?
Shame. Steam. So it wasn't super cheap. I heard about the Green Man. Green Man Gaming had a
Green Man
sale,
Gaming,
which I just missed, which had it for like
Yep.
$30 or something like that.
Yeah.
I got it for £14, which is about $22.
How the hell did you do
Is
that?
it really? I thought that was like $30. That's a good deal. Though, yeah.
One sec.
CD key, right?
Yeah, I didn't know whether that's legal. so yeah, CD Keys has it for about $22.
Jeez, wow. It's not bad.
Wait, CD is CD key one of those like?
It's like a G2A,
Oh,
and
so it's
so
a,
it
it's a bit
is
grey.
legal, I believe.
Is it a bit grey? Is it?
I'm not. Yeah, let me check. One sec.
I have heard people complaining about G2A selling like stolen keys or something.
No,
Is it?
there's only one problem that that G2A have had in the past, and that Far Cry 4 is the only game to ever cause massive controversy. So what Ubisoft were doing were retracting all of the games that were bought on G2A. I had mine revoked as well, but eventually Ubisoft gave in and just gave everyone the games back anyway. So doesn't even matter. Technically it's legal. They buy the keys in bulk and then they sell them off, which isn't breaking any rules in any book, but it's kind of morally wrong, I guess. But I haven't bought it yet, but if I'm going to buy it, I'll buy it off of Steam or CD Keys. I'll probably buy it off of Steam because I like to support developers.
Yeah, it's $23 right now on CD
Yeah.
keys for Arkham Knight.
That's insane.
So
So
yeah,
me,
yeah,
League of Legends,
for your stream.
obviously,
Yeah.
for my stream. I have been thinking about switching streaming platforms soon.
YouTube gaming.
Yes. So, for anyone out there who doesn't know what YouTube gaming is, it's Google's attempt to compete with Twitch, who was obviously bought out by Amazon last year for $1 billion.
Yeah.
And so YouTube gaming is really cool. It's basically what Twitch is. The E3 was streamed over what YouTube gaming is going to be. That's what YouTube gaming is going to look like, for anyone who wants to know. And so the cool thing about YouTube gaming that Twitch doesn't do is that it offers everyone who streams on it advertisement revenue. So anyone can run advertisements and get paid for it.
So it's basically
Well,
like YouTube, just
yeah,
live.
Yeah, essentially. On Twitch, you have to be partnered to run advertisements. You have to have 500 viewers on average and get partnered with Twitch to get subscribers and have the ability to run advertisements. YouTube gaming are going to pay everyone.
Do you know how it... So I know YouTube, you can... I obviously, YouTube channel. I haven't streamed on YouTube. I know YouTube currently already has streaming. How is YouTube gaming different from the current stream that they provide?
It is dedicated purely to gaming. It's none of this... So
no
essentially
live
what it is...
podcasts.
Yeah.
It's good. Essentially, what it's going to be is Google's version of Twitch. There's no else other way to explain it. So they're going to have I was reading the page the other day. 25,000 games will have their own dedicated biography page,
Right.
on YouTube Gaming, and it's purely for games. So basically, it's just essentially Google's Twitch. I'm really excited about it. I don't have a following on Twitch, so I have no problem moving
Switching
over to
over,
YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
Twitch looks like ass. I mean, sorry, everyone out there, Twitch fans, I love Twitch as well, but it looks like shit. The website, it is not pretty. YouTube Gaming looks so nice.
And I'm not sure about anyone else, but for me, it's really, really slow. Even on like medium.
Yeah, I was going to say this. On Twitch, you have to have Twitch Turbo to have... Do you know, like on YouTube, you can click 240p or
Yeah.
360p, or you can choose and it
Yeah.
depending on your thing. You have to have Twitch Turbo to do that on Twitch. YouTube is going to do exactly what YouTube does already. So on YouTube Gaming, you can choose what bandwidth to use.
And
to make
YouTube
it
is
much
using
more smooth.
HTML5 and Twitch is using Flash, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
So that's much more. Essentially, from what I've looked at it, YouTube Gaming is much more efficient because let's fucking face it, it's Google. I mean, Google.
But how are you going to
Google,
stream? Like right now, you're using OBS to stream, I'm guessing.
I am using OBS, yes.
And how are we going to stream to YouTube Gaming?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Say you just put in the way it works on Twitch is you have a stream key
Okay.
that's unique to your channel,
Oh.
and you put it into the settings on OBS
Ah.
under broadcast settings. So basically, YouTube Gaming will do the exact same thing. Every channel will have their own unique key. You put it into OBS, and then that links it to your channel.
Is it a separate account? Like Foehamner has a YouTube channel, so
It's the same.
It'll be if you want to stream off of that channel, you
Right.
can.
Well, I mean, also,
okay.
it's not just streaming. It is also LPs, like I do. Like there's a page for the game, and they'll have pre-recorded things on that as well.
Because what it does is after every you can turn this off, of course, but after every streaming session, it will upload that session straight to YouTube.
Right. So it's two things, kind of. It's like a Google's Twitch as well as all of the rest of YouTube, but only video games.
Yeah. So it's purely for video games. But yeah, like I said, that's really cool. I like how they upload your session straight to YouTube, because some people like to do that and they split it up into half an hours and stuff. But on YouTube Gaming, they'll upload it straight to YouTube, so you don't have to do any fannying about with that, which I think is really, really nice. Because right now, if you stream on Twitch, you have to do a load of messing about, downloading the VOD onto your computer, splitting it up, uploading it to YouTube. But with YouTube, it'll just all be synced.
Which I think says something about the current quality of YouTube streaming, that people would rather use Twitch than YouTube streaming, because you can already still do that through YouTube streaming, but I guess it's just really crap before
YouTube streaming is quite efficient. Yeah, it's quite
inefficient.
it's
slow, yeah, really bad and whatnot.
Yeah, this is, but from the looks of it, they have put so much resources into creating YouTube Gaming. They seriously want to compete with Twitch, which is a big ask, because Twitch are so far ahead at the minute.
Pretty entrenched.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing, like on Nathan's Twitch channel, he usually plays Spotify, and Twitch will like mute any copyrighted music. So how would YouTube Gaming do that?
Okay, so
Similarly,
this is something I'm really not happy about. So for anyone who watches professional gamers, for example, but for anyone who watches professional gamers, for example, know that music is a big part of the stream. Because if you're concentrating on playing League of Legends, for example, there's not a whole lot of time for play-by-play and talking. So a lot of your stream is taken up by music, which I don't think is harmful in any way. A lot of musicians like to say it ruins the industry, but it doesn't. They're lying. But essentially what YouTube Gaming is going to do is, can everyone remember the Content ID system?
Yeah.
That
For
caused
YouTube,
such a huge controversy. They're running that on a real-time basis
Right.
on YouTube Gaming.
So they'll just pull your stream down?
No, you just don't
know.
So the way it works for YouTube right now is, if I upload a thing and it gets flagged as Content ID, I will not make revenue if I'm trying to make revenue on that. Any revenue I would generate from ads goes to whoever holds that Content ID. There's a couple things you can do. You can dispute it. Say you have the fair use, which doesn't work for video games, or YouTube did roll out a tool which will remove the Content ID'd content from your video, but it makes your audio sound really weird.
But it caused a lot of problems, didn't it, when it first came out?
Yes, because people were
doing
uploading
game reviews and stuff.
Well, because people were uploading everything and anything and claiming Content ID on it.
Yeah,
But what about,
freeware libraries, people were uploading those and saying, I have the
Yeah.
Content ID on this. And YouTube's like, I believe you. You there, take that away.
A good thing was as well, Ubisoft. A lot of Ubisoft videos were getting flagged as Content ID, and the revenue from obviously YouTubers went to Ubisoft. And Ubisoft came out and went, we never claimed on that. We have nothing to do with this. It's an automatic system. Because what it was doing was, it was an automatic system. It linked it to Ubisoft.
I've never seen a video game claim content ID on the music. Usually it's the music license holder, and they gave a small license to the game makers to use the music. So usually it's some third party type thing that gets the music money, or first, depending on the number of the parties. It's not usually the game company. Depends on the game.
I'm really hoping that they allow me to play music over my stream. It makes the stream so much more easy to listen to and stuff. I do talk as well.
There's good open source music, I think.
No, there is decent... but not my type of music. I listen to hip hop and that's it.
There's very little open source music with lyrics.
Yes, and that's a big problem for me. I want to listen to music. I enjoy listening to it. It helps me concentrate when I play League of Legends. And hopefully, maybe this is all me jumping the gun. Maybe it'll be fine, and nothing will come of it.
Just get some freeware hip hop music, and then play our podcast at the same time in the background.
Just play it or just play the music really quietly.
Yeah.
Nathan, do you want to buy my mixtape?
Or I'm hoping what you could do is, I think OBS allows you to not
stream certain parts.
Yeah, so don't allow Spotify to go on to my stream. Do you know what I mean?
I know DxTory does that. I imagine OBS probably does the same thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, so if I can make it so it doesn't go through my stream, but I'm still able to listen to music, I'll be fine with that. I'll have no problem with that.
You just need to get a second set of ears, and that way you can put your earbuds into your MP3 player and listen to music with one set of ears, while the game music with the other set.
I could do that, to be fair. Just put earphones and they're under these.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually do that.
I can't actually play with earbuds, or I can't record with earbuds, because they change how I hear myself. I need to be able to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
With earphones I can do that, but
head,
earbuds, it's too distorted. Okay,
shouldn't we get started on E3?
Yeah, let's do that.
We should.
It's only been over half an hour.
Okay, I want to start with Transformers Devastation.
Aw, yeah. Super hype.
I love Transformers, and it's being made by Platinum Games.
Yes, Platinum, the king of character action.
Yeah, so there's a super high chance of it being good.
I'm quite optimistic.
Yeah, and I like the art style. It's cel-shaded kind of looking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's Transformers, and it's using Generation 1, which is what I prefer over the Michael Bay crap. I mean, it looks so good.
I guess they even got some of the original voice actors, too.
Is it coming on the PC?
I have no idea.
I hope it is.
No, it's for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, and PC.
Yeah,
sweet.
Fucking hell.
I didn't take those notes down. I should have taken... I took notes on what things I was excited for, but I didn't actually take notes on whether or not I could play them.
I literally just opened it on E3, don't worry.
Smart.
On IGN.
There are a couple of games that on E3 that is making me think of getting a PS4.
Yes.
Same here.
Like Last Guardian.
Don't
do
it. Don't.
Last Guardian. Got Shenmue. You got Final Fantasy.
Last Guardian. Wait.
Let's talk about that trailer.
The game that's never going to come out.
Which one?
It's never going to come
out. They said about
Duke
Nukem Forever, and it came out and it was terrible. So
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian's
it's the spiritual successor to the Colossus killing game.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. What's it called? Shadow. Thank you.
Shadow of the Colossus and Eco.
Yeah.
Yes. Ico.
I have not heard of that game.
Is it Ico?
Ico. It's ICO. Yeah, Ico.
I have not heard of that game.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You've never heard of Ico? Ico was it's dubbed as one of the best games ever made. It's
that's why I hear about
in its
Shadow.
genre anyway. Shadow. Yeah, the developers are really on point.
Right. So given the developers' credentials, The Last Guardian seems like it's gonna be an awesome game. However, I actually didn't like the trailer that much, because we were talking about this before recording. It's a good example of a trailer that's super scripted, and I can't tell what's gameplay and what's cinematographic. Because either the gameplay is really QTE oriented, or this was a special just for E3 generated thing. I'm not really sure.
I feel like it was.
I can understand why they want to do it scripted, because they just want to show the best parts and being smooth. But
I want to see gameplay.
I would prefer somebody on stage playing the game. like
Right.
like the Doom
it is
3 and
risky,
Star
though,
Wars
but-
Battlefront trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a good setup to. Before we started the podcast, I mentioned I'm not a big fan of E3. Now,
Right.
this is a good setup. The E3 I love every year. I love watching it. I love the spectacle. I really do. The problem I have with E3 is it builds up these unrealistic expectations of games coming in the following year, and they never live up to what E3 makes them to be. Let's look in the past few years. Watch Dogs, Destiny, Dead Island, all games that were hyped beyond belief at E3, and when they came out, they failed the commercial base fantastically. That's what I don't like about E3. The fact that most of the content is scripted and cinematographic, so you don't know what the game's going to look like, or there's 5 minutes of gameplay footage, which again doesn't really tell you what the game's about. Watch Dogs had a really cool E3 session. It was 15 minutes of unedited gameplay footage. That's what every game at E3 should be like. Every game at E3 should show 15 minutes of unedited gameplay, so I know what the graphics are like, what the mechanics are like, some of the story, maybe the voice acting, see how good that is. I need to know these things before I buy a game.
Well, that's like you should just watch the stuff that's on the show floor then, because like let's face it, the presentations like they market them for being for gamers and stuff, but really there's for shareholders of the company. That's really all they are.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I love E3 every year. I really, really do. I love watching it. It's such a spectacle.
It's ridiculous.
But-
I love it for that.
But it fails us every year. People get hyped every year, and then when the games finally come out, we realise, oh wait, they're just as shit as every fucking year it comes out. It saddens me. It really, really does. Because some of these games look fucking batshit good.
I think, though,
some of these games look insane.
Star Wars Battlefront was, in my opinion, the prettiest trailer, but I'm super nervous about it.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront was the most disappointing thing I've seen in the past decade.
What?
I see.
If I wanted to play Battlefield, I'd play Battlefield. I don't want to play Battlefield. I want to play Battlefront. I don't want to that's all this new Battlefront's looking like. It looks like Battlefield with a Star Wars skin, and that's not what I want to play.
I mean, they showed one-player content, so it was kind of hard to judge.
It looked so similar. It uses the same engine as Battlefield as well.
The only Star Wars stuff they showed was at the end with the guy flying the X-Wing and stuff like that.
It didn't look like a Star Wars game. It didn't look like a Battlefront. It looked like a poor attempt to make Battlefield relevant again. It's just, I was so looking forward to it when they announced a new Battlefront as well, because I love the old ones. I love Battlefront. I think it's a great game. I just hope they don't fuck it up. I
have not been particularly fond of any of them. I was just saying the graphics are
Really?
pretty.
It does look
like
pretty,
the previous ones. It does look pretty. Yeah. A lot of the games this year looked pretty.
So one of the games that going into E3 that I was the most hyped for, and the trailer I think was the only trailer actually to heighten my hype. That was Firewatch. I am really looking forward to Firewatch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that that exploratory game?
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
exploratory.
Where you're in
It's just
in
you in the
Wyoming
forest
or
with a
Kansas
like a
or something.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. I really like the look of it. I'm probably gonna get that.
It has like the minimalistic cell shaded look, right?
Yeah,
A
kind
little
of.
bit, yeah.
Kind of.
It's hard to nail
Yeah.
down.
It's very red.
But it looks really good.
Yes, actually, no. Wait, No Man's Sky is super red too. The red grass
Yeah.
is red in
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's
Yeah.
Sky, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, after that presentation, I think it's really cool how expansive and, massive it is as a game, but, I just don't know if the content is there for me to really
think
get
it's
into
gonna-
it.
I think it's gonna be like Spore.
Yeah, that's what
Some
I'm worried
kind of
about.
thing.
Please, no.
The infinitely less popular Sims.
But No Man's Sky has probably the highest chance of disappointing
Yeah,
people.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
It has
It's so
it has
hyped.
But again,
Yeah.
it's the highest hyped thing I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Every three is the same.
You
the
want
most hyped
them-
thing is inevitably going to be bad.
But the hype has been here for from last year
Yeah.
for
Right.
No
Yeah.
Man's Sky. So you want it to be good, but it seems so
I've-
ambitious to be anywhere near.
I've given up buying into hype anymore. I'm done. I'm done with hype. It fails me every year.
I love Super Hot for owning the hype. Like just that trailer, super hot. Super hot. It's like, oh yeah, we know what you guys know what you're on about. It's just it's like this really ridiculous kind of flashy trailer, but it looks like a cool concept. Simple. I don't know if it'll be a full game. It'll be weird.
Yeah.
It's the one where you shoot and stop time and...
But time only moves when you move.
yeah, time only
Yeah.
moves.
I don't know how good it is without an Oculus Rift, though.
It was made in a
Yeah.
game jam or something, right?
Yeah,
I
initially.
believe. Yeah.
Just an Oculus
Yeah,
Rift
initially.
game jam. It
But
was
it
at
looks much
PAX
better
last
now.
year.
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It looks much better
Um,
now compared to like the first time they showed it, which was like last
Yeah.
year, was it?
Yeah,
I think
last
so.
year, I think. Yeah.
looks good.
PAX. It was at PAX, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I heard about Actually, looking at my notes, but did Platinum have multiple games? I have something down here called Nier, N-I-E-R.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
put
man.
Platinum.
It looks
I don't
bomb.
remember
Actually-
anything about the trailer anymore, though.
I played the first Nier and I wasn't a big fan, but this one does look pretty cool.
Yeah, the first
Uh,
first Nier is either you hate it or you love it, and
Yeah.
I'm the latter. I love the game because it was so weird
It's-
for some
The
reason.
writing was poor. That's what I didn't like about it.
Hmm.
Well, I don't play games for the story, so if I want a good story, I'll rent like
Heathen.
I'll watch.
Yeah,
12
story's
Years a
really,
Slave or
really
something, right?
important for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
for me,
Depends on the game. Depends on the game, but for the most part,
Oh, of
stories-
course. All right,
stories.
a game with a story needs to have a good story. I think that's the best way of
Right.
putting it.
Yeah, but for Nier, I didn't mind the writing, but I liked the concept of what was happening
Yeah,
in the
it
world.
was pretty
Right,
cool.
for I think in general, Platinum games, you were largely playing them for the action, the character action. So the story
Yeah.
can take a backseat more easily in a Platinum
But the
game.
funny thing is, I don't think the first Nier was made by Platinum.
Oh,
It was
okay.
it was a very weird mashup of third-person action RPG.
It was Square. No, it was Square Enix.
Yeah, it was Square Enix. Yeah, so third-person action
They're
RPG
usually pretty
with,
good on the story.
with a bit of platforming and bullet hell parts. So it was a weird mashup, and the story was also quite weird. There was like time traveling and stuff like that. But I really, really liked the atmosphere and how it was just a weird experience for me. And it was really, really good, but I'm not sure how Platinum's gonna do it because they're more known for, like you said, character action games, and you
Yeah.
play it mostly is for the
But I
gameplay and the
think-
action.
I think that fits Nier more because the thing that was good about Nier was the action and stuff. And like I said, the writing wasn't terribly good. So if someone like Platinum could pick it up and turn that average, like quite good Square Enix action into blisteringly good action, it'll make that game even better, in my opinion. Some games were just never meant to have good writing. Like,
Did they
And-
say which platform will it be on? I think it's PS4,
I
right?
think PS4,
so.
yeah, if I recall.
So yeah,
So-
I might be getting
so-
one.
so real quick, Final Fantasy VII.
oh man,
Am I the only person who?
We have to
am I
talk
the only
about it, yeah.
person? Am I the only person who doesn't give a single fuck?
I've only played the first 4 Final Fantasies and a couple of Tactics, so I don't really have any
I
interest
lost-
in the 7 remaster
I lost.
or whatever it is.
I lost interest. I lost interest 5 years ago when people asked for it the 7 billionth time. Like, I'm done. Final Fantasy 7, yeah, cool, remake, cool, but we've been asking for it for what,
Right,
15 years,
yeah.
and
So
But I think it's a
Oh,
good
well.
thing for like newer gamers, like the young gamers who did not have the experience to
I
play
don't
the first
agree.
game.
I don't agree. Go back and play the first game if you want to play it.
Yeah, but
Like-
these young gamers have experience playing like high definition graphics. If they go back to the first one, they
Well-
might not.
You have no business playing games then. Like go back, get a PS1, get the 7 discs that it came on, and go and play it.
No.
So
No.
what I gathered with the trailer was, I think it looked like the teaser trailer was incredible for it. I thought it was really, really awesome. But I feel like I'm gonna go back and play it when it comes out. I'm just not gonna care for it as much as I did when I was like 12 or
Yeah.
whatever when it came out. Because like sometimes you go back to something you're nostalgic for, and you go back and you play it again. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be the same thing, and then you're like, this isn't what I loved, and now it's not right.
Do you know what-
And it hurts. That's what's gonna happen, I think.
And you know what they call that? Nostalgia blindness. Nostalgia blindness is the
They'll kill
biggest
you, man.
cause of
Nostalgia
yeah.
goggles.
Yep.
like the amount of times I've gone back to PS1 and played a load of games and thought, holy shit, it wasn't this bad when I played it when I was like 7. Like,
I can
Jesus
no
Christ.
longer play James Bond or 007 GoldenEye.
Neither can I.
The controls are
No,
too
'cause
they're impossible.
That's because it looks like a shit shat out another shit.
Well, it's
like,
the controls
it's one of
for
the
me. It's
worst
just
looking
like,
games I've ever seen.
Yeah, so,
So weird.
my point stands about having young gamers playing this new one because
Right,
if they go back to the old one, they probably wouldn't like the graphics. So at least they have an at least they can
I
experience
suppose.
what we felt when we
Right.
were like
But I
12.
As long
wonder
as
if,
the story's good.
I wonder almost like if the system for Final Fantasy, which is like changed, like maybe in small ways since 7, if it's still gonna hold up today, like it's
turn-based action.
exactly all that stuff, like the
Yeah.
inventory management and all that kind of stuff, like leveling. I wonder if it's gonna hold up, and like if a younger person were to play it now, if it would still click with them or not. I wonder.
Yeah.
Like I can go back and play it, and I'm fine with it, but I could understand someone not being okay with it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very well. It's not what younger gamers, I would say,
Yeah.
are used to.
Right.
They're used to fast twitch action.
Yeah, it's
Not,
outdated
let's-
mechanics basically. That's just
Yeah, let's sit here for 5 minutes and pick my next attack.
Yeah.
Is basically what FF7 was. But FF7 wasn't even my favorite Final Fantasy, so I really don't care. Final Fantasy 9 was my favorite. I loved Final Fantasy 9. 9, then 8, then X, and then 7.
My favorite was 8. And then
8
X.
was brilliant. I
8,
did like
X, and 9. I couldn't get into 7 for some reason.
Cloud is just an overrated character. He's just kind of boring. There's nothing to him. But for people out there, obviously Final Fantasy has a huge fan base. So for these people that have been asking for it for so long, it has got to be exciting for those people.
Is it only PS4?
I think
It will be. I assume so.
it could be PS4, PC, maybe. I think, but who knows?
Let me-
PC is
let me
probably
have a
going to
quick
come
look.
out after 2 years.
Yeah, something like
maybe.
that. Yeah.
I don't mind.
Let me have a quick look. Oh, apparently, and FF7 is a remake, not a remaster.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So they might be changing
Changing
the battle
some- yeah.
system
that'll be interesting to see.
to the new one.
I read that they said they're going to put back the ATB battle system.
Okay.
The action time. What's it called? Action time bar or something?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
still can play some games that have that, like Bravely Default on the 3DS.
Oh, here we go. But many fans were disappointed to learn it was a simple put. I don't know whether it's going to be on PC, to be honest with you.
Oh, no. Well, because the initial
Probably
thing
not
was
right away.
the initial thing that happened was like last year at that one PlayStation Experience thing, they were talking about Final Fantasy VII. They came out on stage saying like, "All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna release it for you guys." But it was just the PC port of Final Fantasy VII, and they released it on like the PlayStation Marketplace or something like that. Or I think they had planned to do it, and it was this huge thing that everyone got really upset over. So I think this year they were like, "All right, we just gotta like straight up, redo this thing." So I don't know. Who knows, really?
I think there's not much more to say about Final Fantasy. For those who loved the game, good for you. And it's a remake, so if you don't want to go back and play exactly the same game, then I suppose that's cool. But apart from that, Final Fantasy, we all know what it's about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the thing I was most excited for at E3 was the PC gaming conference. Because they actually had a great presenter, Mr. Day9. Sean Day9 Plot, who is like one of my favourite people on the planet, hosted the PC conference, which I was a huge fan of. Anyone who doesn't know who Day9 is, go and watch him. He's amazing. He was a StarCraft 2 commentator, but he's like one of the most likable guys in the world. And he really did a really good job. I really loved the PC gaming conference. It was the thing I was most absorbed in when I was watching E3.
So what was it about? The conference?
It was just they brought basically a load of guests out and they were doing all things PC essentially.
AMD announced like new cards and stuff.
Yeah, with
Really
the Radeon
cool.
cards,
Yeah.
which look.
The
Oh my
R7
god!
and R9 300s, is it?
Have you seen them? My god, they're half the size of a GTX card,
Yeah.
and they're more powerful than the 980 Ti.
Yeah.
They are insane cards.
I feel
How much will they retail?
Cheap, very cheap. I think like 400, 500.
yeah, one's like 550.
That
I
sounds
think.
right.
Yeah. So not bad, really.
So not very expensive. Well, if we compare it to the Titan X, for example, the
$1,000.
Titan X was what $1,000, and this is just as powerful as the Titan X and smaller. So
The PC
There you go.
the PC conference was such like a weird thing to me because I was really looking forward to it also, and the host name that I forgot. So if you want to remind me,
day 9.
sure. I thought he did the best with what he could work with because I felt like there were parts of that conference that just did not go over well with me. I feel like the content was kind of lacking on it, But I think like going forward, if they keep doing PC conferences, it'll like develop into something really, really good. Because first off, I was kind of surprised that Valve wasn't there at all. In like any,
were they not?
No, they weren't there at all.
Like I said, why? Well, I suppose there's not really anything
Right.
that Valve have to say.
I think
they're not doing anything new.
apparently they demoed their like VR thing behind closed doors for like a very small amount of people. So that's all they're really there for. So I don't know.
So all those people hoping for Half-Life 3, you're gonna have to wait another year. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's rough.
I guess Steam Box is old news at this point.
Yeah.
I am so hoping that. I hope that Half-Life 3 is never released now. It's getting to the Duke Nukem Forever stage.
It's getting to the Last Guardian
where
stage.
It's never going to be able to live up to expectations. And I hope it never releases. I'm sorry, guys, but I loved Half-Life 2, but I can't. Yeah, you can't make up for 15 years worth of hype.
Right.
It's impossible.
I feel like you can almost let that series end the way it did. Like I'd be okay with how it ended. I think it's kind of a cliffhanger at the end of episode 2, but I don't know.
It was quite a bit. As far as cliffhangers go, it's a pretty big one.
Yeah, right.
Like, I would understand if they wanted to leave it. Like I said, I would totally understand if they went, look, it's been too long. We can't do it. Because they've got two options. Either release it and risk ruining the franchise, which is something you don't want to do, or leave it and make a few people angry. And they'll get over it. It's Valve. No one hates Valve. Valve are amazing. Like, you can't stay angry at them for too long. So I think the best thing to do is just cut your losses. We made a great game series. Just leave it
Just
there.
cut your losses and give everyone free TF2 hats or something, and then just call it even, and everyone will be fine.
Or not that.
That would be completely terrible. Like, oh, here, have a head crab. Like, what? No. Where's my damn game? Come on.
It's kind of Half-Life. It's a head crab.
Yeah.
It's
could work. The one thing from E3 that I was kind of let down by, I think Jonathan will agree unless you feel completely different, in which case feel free to. There's not very many indie games. There wasn't a very big presence of them there, which I guess kind of makes sense considering the scale of it. But I felt like maybe during Microsoft's conference, they had a couple they threw out there, like Tacoma, which looks like it'll be pretty good. And the one game that... Go ahead.
So there's two games which were kind of indie-ish, which I have... So next to Tacoma, my note is unclear, because it wasn't clear to me what kind of game it was at all, but it caught my interest enough to write it down. And then Sea of Thieves was the other one. I wrote a next to it, because so Sea of Thieves and The Last Guardian, they both look like indie games I've already played. The Last Guardian looks like Papo and Yo, and Sea of Thieves looks like Sid Meier's Pirates.
Right. So Sea of Thieves is by Rare, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
Like when
interesting.
As in Rareware, as in the Rare.
Yeah. Like
the guys who made Banjo-Kazooie.
Former Banjo-Kazooie fame, now Connect Sports
awesome.
fame. Or whatever. So
well, they got bought out, didn't they? Didn't really get bought out a while ago. Hence why the latest Banjo-Kazooie that absolutely fucking sucked.
Nuts and bolts.
There was one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude. Oh,
I didn't
God.
play it even.
Everyone likes it. There was one indie game. Shar mentioned it to me. The old timey cartoon.
Cuphead.
Beat 'em up. Cuphead. Yes.
That
that looks so pretty.
That looks really good.
It's an Xbox exclusive though, right?
It's PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
I think
because Microsoft said whatever coming to Xbox will be coming to PC, right?
That makes sense.
They're trying to eliminate the exclusivity between PS and
which is
PC
good.
and Xbox.
It's good for
It
everyone.
looks like they took Peacock from Skullgirls and gave her own game.
Yeah, right. It
I'm looking at it again right now because it's so good.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
I don't know why I didn't write that one down.
Yeah,
it looks like a 1930s Disney movie.
Yeah, it totally does.
But it's still like kind of violent. It's like Castle Crashers, but a little more bullet helly. I don't know.
So what's insane is the team that made it is actually two brothers, and it was supposed to come out this year, but it's going next year. Obviously, they had to push it back and stuff, but. There was some people that were able to play it on the show floor, and they said it's absolutely brutal. Like, it's really, really hard. So I'm curious to see how that works. But
it looks like a bullet hell kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, though. I figured it'd be one that you were big on, since I know you like indie games and stuff. So I was like, I gotta know how you feel about Cuphead. It looks so good.
So this is fully indie, right?
Yeah, Two Guys is pretty indie as it gets.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, they.
But going into E3, I never have any aspersions that I'm going to see, much indie.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to see more, but I wasn't disappointed because I didn't expect anything.
For sure. Yeah.
You can't really, can you? I mean, it's always nice, but E3 is a multinational, like gaming conference. Like,
well, that's the thing about
indie
PAX.
is exactly that.
So I mean, PAX. Yeah. They have the floor space division is definitely like 5/6 AAA games, but that last 6 fits in like so many devs. Like the number of different games in that 1/6 floor space for the indie corner is like more than double the number of AAA games that are there. And it's really cool to like walk up and down that hall and see like so many different things. Like Titan Souls was there. I'm trying to think what else was good. There was a really weird horror nightmare game. I don't know. There's good stuff that you get to see. You get in their demo lists, which is fun.
Yeah. So there's one thing actually I had a question what you guys felt about it, but during the Sony conference they had that thing where they basically debuted the Kickstarter for Shenmue, which it was really weird because basically they said like, all right, we're going to come out here, we're going to debut that they're running a Kickstarter, and of course the Kickstarter's URL is completely ridiculous. It's kickstarter.com/save Shenmue. So apparently you need saving now. I didn't realize this, but so basically they needed $2 million to get it into production, and of course they raised it within like less than 24 hours, I think. So they earned it really quickly, but like I just don't know how I feel about Sony being like, all right, so here we're going to show a Kickstarter for our presentation, but we're going to show it to you, but you guys have to go foot the bill for it for now. But of course, then Sony announced recently that they're going to back the rest of the project after it made the $2 million. So I was wondering what you guys kind of thought about that, like the idea of a big corporation like Sony saying like, all right, check out this cool Kickstarter. All right, here, go pay the Kickstarter, so then we know that we should make this game or help make this game.
I think what they're doing is they're using the bloodstain model right now. So Koji Igarashi, I think his name is, the guy who created Castlevania.
Right.
He put up a Kickstarter for Bloodstain, which is a spiritual successor to Castlevania, right? And what he said was the Kickstarter is there to just generate interest, to show investors that there is still an audience. So maybe that was what Sony was doing.
Yes, I think
I don't think it's anything else. Yeah,
I think it was smart, but I also think it was kind of gross and lazy, because I mean, Sony's a big company. They should have the resources to do that research without having to use Kickstarter on E3.
Right. It was just really weird and just kind of like, it was kind of like skeezy in a weird way, and I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't like just like pimping this guy out here and being like, all right, throw your money at him.
Yeah,
like no.
like with Bloodstain, it was just the guy that was doing it. It wasn't it wasn't Konami or whatever, right?
Exactly, and that's what makes it not skeezy to me.
Yeah.
Does it really surprise you though?
I can't say yes.
Like, it doesn't surprise me anymore, the shit that these people do. Like they'll do anything just to get ahead, and Kickstarter is the new scapegoat for anything nowadays, because obviously I love Kickstarter, but it is such an easy way to abuse the website.
Right.
Oh, look at this game, go fund it now.
Right.
Like, it's just, I don't know, I'm not surprised anymore. Monopoly or Monopoly, won't it?
It's a good thing that everybody's getting Shenmue 3, but I just didn't like how they use Kickstarter. Like
Kickstarter's our website. Like, it's called a fan. Like, what is it called? A fan
crowdfunding
website. We're the crowd. They're not the crowd. We're the crowd. Right? Leave our website alone.
It's for people who don't have the capability to go in and get investors.
Exactly. They are big monopolies. They can show investors without shoving Kickstarter in people's face. So looking over E3, I've just looked down while you guys were talking about that, because I'm not a big indie game fan. I was looking down the list of the games that were announced at E3. And I've got to be completely honest, I'm not insanely excited for a lot. In fact, the things I am excited for are not exactly AAA masterpieces. So like, for example, the new Harvest Moon coming out, I am really, really excited about.
I didn't even see that trailer. I missed that.
So this new Harvest Moon, it's called Harvest Moon Seeds of Memories. They're going back to the original Harvest Moon gameplay. Like, do you know, from the first couple of Harvest Moons. So they're going back to the old style, and it's coming out on PC.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's coming out on Android, iOS, Wii U, and PC. So I am
cool.
It's a mobile game?
Weird, but cool.
Yep, they're doing it on me. Well, they can because it's the old style. Like, it's top down.
Sure.
So you don't have to do all that, all the 3D rendering and
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, apart from that, a Deus Ex Mankind Divided looks like it's getting back to the roots of the first Deus Ex, which I'm really excited about.
The thing that I hear about that game that gets me really excited is I hear it's completely stealthable, including the bosses.
Oh,
that's what
finally.
I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. But I will say one thing. So for anyone who doesn't know, action RPG is a phrase that's thrown around quite a lot.
yeah.
So let's just be real clear. There's a clear distinction between two things. The first Deus Ex was an action RPG. The Human Revolution?
Revolution.
Was an action game with RPG elements. Those two are two totally different genres of games. So, for example, the first Deus Ex, you could literally put points in anything. And if you didn't have any points in pistols, you'd be so inaccurate, you might as well not even use them. While Human Revolution, you could pick up any gun in the world and instantly know how to use it, which is something I really didn't like about the game. I like being able to customize my character to... Do you like on Skyrim, where if you don't have any points in two-handed swords, then you will do literally no damage with them?
Yeah.
And it will use up a lot of stamina. That's what I like. I like action RPGs. I don't like action game with RPG elements. I don't know what Mankind Divided is doing. I'm presuming they're going with the latter, similar to Human Revolution, just because the original Deus Ex was insanely hard.
Yeah.
And you know what the AAA scene is like recently. They tried to baby their entire fan base because they think we're all retarded for some reason. But apart from that, not an insane amount, because a lot of the PC games don't interest me, and I'm not going to buy a console. I don't care if I see a game that I like. I'm not going to buy a console. I'm not doing it. It's not me. I'm not spending £400 on a new console just so I can play one game. So a lot of this E3, not a lot of it is PC orientated for me, or at least some stuff that I like. I was excited to see a new Star Ocean's coming out, and if I was going to pick Final Fantasy or Star Ocean, I'd instantly pick Star Ocean. I'm a big Star Ocean fan, but I'm pretty sure it's only on PS, so that sucks for me.
Seriously, yeah.
But I am excited to hear about the backwards compatibility with Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they're doing that.
Well, it's the first ever in-house emulator, so that's how they've done it. They've created an emulator to run on Xbox One. That's how they're doing backwards compatibility. It's the first time a company have ever done an in-house emulator build. So we might actually get an Xbox 360 emulator being released very, very soon.
So
That'd be cool.
What's interesting about the way they're going about it, though, is they basically have to buy the rights to a bunch of the Xbox 360 games. So what they're doing is they have their website up where you can basically vote on games that you want to come to Xbox One. It's like Red Dead Redemption is one of them. I know it's number one right now. Of course it is, right? So that's one of them. Yeah. But so there's a chance a lot of the more deeper cuts aren't gonna get that treatment. But I still think it's really cool that they're even trying to do something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a bit silly that a new generation console doesn't have backwards compatibility. I think that's insanely silly. It is a bullying tactic. It's a way for them to basically get more sales on new consoles.
Yeah, we already bought it. Why you want us to buy it again?
Yeah, like I don't want to have to buy. If I buy an Xbox One, I don't want that to have to plug in my Xbox. I don't, obviously, because I'm not a console player, but I'm just assuming. I don't want to have to go and plug in my Xbox 360 every time I want to play an Xbox 360 game. Why can't I just use it on Xbox One? There's no reason for me not to be able to use it. It's stupid. So, but PS haven't followed suit, which is surprising to me because they try to match each other every freaking year. So
it's funny how they do that.
It's insane that because that has got a huge amount of brownie points for Xbox for Microsoft, because people have been asking for backwards compatibility since the consoles came out, and Sony haven't followed suit, which is surprising to me. Maybe they will, Maybe after they've heard Xbox plans, they're building an emulator for themselves. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm hoping for the people that do want backwards compatibility that it does.
Anybody uses an iPhone here? iOS?
I
No.
wish.
Because I hate Apple. So no.
Yeah,
I only-
I like Android.
I only want an
I
Apple
asked-
phone for Fallout Shelter, but I can't play it.
Android.
Yeah, I asked because of Fallout Shelter. I was wondering if anybody's tried it yet.
It's coming to Android though.
In a couple months, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, we have to wait though.
Yeah.
Man.
But it is number
Is
one
it-
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a paid game, innit?
no,
It's not a paid game. It's a free.
Oh, is it a
free game, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And the
free?
microtransactions is just you getting more items. You don't have to do it.
Oh, thank God. So, not stupid microtransactions for once.
Yeah, and it's all the way to number one, beating Candy Crush.
we
I'm surprised that Candy Crush was still number one.
yeah, I was shocked by that. Do we have time?
You are? I'm not.
Do we have time?
Mobile games are so bad.
Do we have time for me to gush about the Bethesda presentation, or is that not okay right now? So I don't know how much.
Go ahead, go
if we're
ahead.
running long or anything.
Yeah, you can do it. I think I'm gonna unfortunately have to take off right now, but I'll listen to this, so
Okay.
I will give you your feedback on
Okay,
on Bethesda
I'm
afterwards.
looking forward to it for sure. Have a good
All
one,
right.
dude.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
So, Bethesda's conference. Were you guys hyped by it, or do you guys not give a shit?
I'm not a Bethesda fanboy. so
no.
I'm a huge fan of Dishonored.
Okay,
I love the first game,
so
and the second game,
like
I don't mind more Dishonored.
right. So I thought their conference as a whole was really, really, really good. The Doom trailer and gameplay I was a little bit mixed on, because I really wonder so obviously Bethesda was able to get the rights, and they basically took over id Software, right, or something like that. I think is how it went down. But
Yeah, I think so.
so basically they're able to do that and stuff. So they got the rights like Wolfenstein. Obviously did a really solid job with that reboot, I thought, with the New Order, and then obviously the Old Blood just came out. But with Doom, for some reason, I'm not entirely positive that's gonna work that well, just because of the kind of game that Doom is, and what they're trying to make it. Basically, so I feel like Doom 3, I didn't really play that much of it, so you guys might have a better idea than I do. But I feel like Doom.
I like Doom 3.
Was it kind of was it really as much a first-person shooter, or was it more like a survival, horror in a first-person perspective kind of thing?
There was a lot of first-person action in it.
Okay.
But they did try to make it feel like a survival game, even though it clearly
Okay.
wasn't. But they did pretty well. I liked, but what was it called?
BFG.
What's the new? The BFG edition was okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't seen the Doom 4 trailer though, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they're going back to the roots of Doom, with it being just kind of fast paced,
Super violent.
yeah, super violence, run through these levels, just blast off demons' heads and stuff. And I think that can work in the landscape of games today, but a little part of me is concerned is it's not gonna resonate well with a lot of the gamers now, you know?
I don't know. I mean, I think right. So for anyone who I'm quoting someone here, zero punctuation, but he actually made a really good point. So obviously, Doom falls under the category of horror, and there are three types of horror games. There are your Dead Spaces, which is the worst type of horror. Then you've got your Amnesia, which is your best type of horror, and then you've got Doom somewhere sitting in the middle, where it's not exactly scary, but it does have enough of an atmosphere to invoke some kind of emotion, where Dead Space lacks a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it would really work, going back to the Doom 1 kind of, because Doom 1 was amazing, let's face
totally.
it. So seeing an updated version of Doom 1, yeah, I'll buy that shit up right now.
Right.
That's amazing. But I will say one thing, Bethesda in recent years have come out with some of the most overrated games, in my opinion. Skyrim being a top contender.
I will completely agree.
For that spot.
Yeah, I was not huge on Skyrim.
Skyrim is one of the most overrated games I've ever seen in my life. I think without modifications, Skyrim as a game is quite poor. It's very slow paced and it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
With mods, you can make any game good.
I think Bethesda games is really dependent on mods.
Yeah.
To be good. And it's
Fallout
always
3
always
isn't.
buggy when it comes out.
Fallout 3 wasn't. Fallout 3 was more than good enough to stand on its own. Although I will say, I'm not a Fallout 3 fanboy.
No.
I don't care about Fallout 4. I do love Fallout 3. I would think it was a great game, but I don't think it's the last jigsaw piece to the jigsaw puzzle that is gaming, like most people do. I think that it is overrated in its own right, not because of how, if any, lacking in like, you know, quality, just because people just slather it every time,
Sure.
you know. Yeah, like, but Fallout 3 was a great game.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4, I'm sure, is going to be a great game. New Vegas, I hated.
Yeah, I wasn't huge
But
on it.
luckily, it wasn't created by Bethesda. So
Obsidian, right?
Yeah,
Obsidian, I'd say it was only marketed by
Right.
Bethesda because it was part of the Fallout series. So, but Bethesda in recent years, the Elder Scrolls series are some of the most overrated games I've seen in a long time. They're just very boring. But I'm hoping that they get back to like Morrowind was great.
Morrowind is very good.
I loved Morrowind. And Oblivion it started to hedge a bit, but I still enjoyed Oblivion.
Yeah,
The
Oblivion
writing
good.
was a bit poor.
Right.
Oblivion was fun to play.
Yeah, the world building of Bethesda is second to none. If you want someone to make good world building, Bethesda's the people to go to. You play Fallout, my god, Fallout 3 had some of the best world building I've ever seen. It felt so amazing.
Yeah. So this is actually going kind of to the very beginning of the podcast, bringing it all full circle. You didn't like The Witcher 3's lore, so I feel like you're probably banging your head on the wall when you're playing through Skyrim, because I feel like the story of that was so poor. The main story of that.
That's why it's because
it's abysmal.
Like pacing, people, pacing. Like the problem with open world games such as Skyrim and Witcher 3 and thing is that you can build up this really fast paced narrative, but you have but you've got to, you know, incorporate the fact that some people out there like me are dipshits, and in between missions I will go and run around on a horse for an hour, and it completely breaks the pacing up. And Bethesda are especially problematic when it comes to this. Skyrim was one of the worst paced AAA games I've seen in a long time. 1 minute you could be having a really intense fight in a dungeon, and the next minute you're wandering around for 2 hours in the wilderness. It's just terrible. But Fallout 3 knew how to pace. Nothing, all of the little interactions, that's what you need to do. If you have an open world, everyone you interact with needs to have something interesting to say.
So I guess that kind of goes well into like the Fallout 4 stuff, because I was really hyped when the trailer dropped, obviously like 3 weeks ago. I was really excited, like waiting for it to load on my phone, the countdown going down and everything. I was like in my car in a parking garage, like, all right, I gotta see this. So I loved it then. Watching the gameplay stuff, I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, obviously they're using the same engine, so like it looks like everyone has like a stick up their ass when they're walking around. Like it looks terrible in that regard.
But that's not what Fallout was about, though, was it?
Yeah.
Fallout 3 wasn't exactly the best looking game ever.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was the world building. It's the fact that it was just so big.
Yeah.
And not because it was big, it felt big. It wasn't the Just Cause problem where the map is actually huge. Like, Fallout 3 felt vast, and it felt like apocalyptic.
Totally. It was so desolate.
It was really cool.
And that's what was lost in New Vegas,
Yeah.
I think. I feel like the world didn't have that. It didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like Fallout to me.
Yeah, well, it's in the name, people.
Yeah.
Fallout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's the name.
So I feel like what concerns me about Fallout 4 is the fact that they're adding so many things in to this one. Like they have that whole thing where you can like build up your own shelter, and then you can have like multiple shelters. And it's like, man, I don't know how this is gonna work, because they had that whole system in Skyrim, and I touched it like twice maybe, and I just didn't care for building a home.
I think it's a really cool system. It's how you implement it, I think is the thing. I think that I will touch on one thing really quick, because I'm assuming we don't have much time left. But I think that, so Dishonored, really quick, the last Bethesda game to talk about. I didn't like it.
I never played
Dishonored
it,
1?
so I have no idea.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of the Thief games, for anyone out there who played Thief. Apart from Thief 4, which we will never talk about. But Dishonored seemed to me like they were trying to throw their hat into the stealth ring. And it didn't work for me. I think that the thing for anyone who didn't like play Thief, which is for you, John, the thing that was so good about Thief was the main character was just so entertaining. Like he wasn't a silent protagonist like in Dishonored, which is, people need to stop doing that shit. By the way, we've gone past it. Silent protagonists are done. We don't need them anymore. We have people who actually know how to voice act now. Like we don't need that. But in Thief, he'd just make like backhanded comments to the environment. Like he'd see something and make a joke about it, and he was a really entertaining character. And in Thief 4, they made him a misery guts who hated life and everyone around him, and that's what ruined it. But in Dishonored, silent protagonist was the worst way to go. You need that character, because in stealth can get very boring at times because it's very slow. So the thing that made Thief work so well was the fact that he made these comments that made you giggle, and it kept your interest. And I don't think Dishonored did that. I think Dishonored had a really good format to go off. It was a good stealth game.
The gameplay was really tight and was really
like,
it was just fun to use all his powers and all his
exactly.
and stuff,
and it didn't have that stealth problem that a lot of games have, where the guard takes the same path 7 million times and never stops. Like the paths that the guards took were fairly like realistic and not too scripted, which was kind of good. But the writing was really, really poor for me.
I think the reason why I really liked Dishonored was because you can blink.
Yeah, the blink ability was so cool.
That was so good. Usually I just blink behind the guy and I stab him in the face, him in the head. It was really, really good.
It was the moral choice aspect that I didn't like about Dishonored.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. I hate
it.
It was basically the mechanics that made me enjoy it. I didn't care for all the other stuff.
Do you know the moral choice games that make you do all of the bad things or all of the good things, or else you get a shit ending? Dishonored pretty much did that. If you want to do a moral choice aspect, don't make the decisions affect the game. Just maybe change the dialogue, but let us decide what we would do in that situation. Because in some situations, I might want to be a dickhead to someone, but in other situations, I might want to be nice. That's just the human nature.
Sorry,
no one is a complete.
I don't get what you mean.
Infamous is a good example of this. Did anyone play Infamous?
Yeah.
So on Infamous, if you did the good thing all the time, you ramped up your good points and you got new abilities. Yeah. But if you did good things some of the time and bad things some of the time, you didn't unlock any abilities because you were stuck in the middle.
Ah, okay, I get what you mean now.
That's an example of a bad moral choice system.
Yeah, I prefer the Mass Effect style. It just affects the narrative instead of like skills and stuff.
Exactly. Because sometimes I might want to act like a horrible person. Or sometimes in some situations I might want to act nice. That's just human nature. No one's a dick all the time. No one is. Well, maybe some people, but most people aren't. So moral choice aspects need to die out.
I think the only game that made it work was the Old Republic, because if you're a Sith, then you're a Sith, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think it's getting into the mind, but normal human beings aren't like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you act different ways in different situations. Mass Effect did it really well.
Yeah.
But apart from that, moral choice systems are never good. And they're always...
And that's why I actually prefer playing Mass Effect just for the story. I didn't really like the gameplay, but just the...
I don't like TPSs, I agree.
Just the conversations and the dialogue trees that I can choose from, and all the different things I can affect from the narrative. It was just a really, really good... It was just great writing. It's probably like... Yeah. Just one last quick one. Nintendo. So, I know they didn't...
Oh my god.
Yeah, they did not have a good one.
The weirdest conference I've ever seen in my life.
I love the Nintendo Direct stuff they're doing, where they don't go on stage and they just release a video, but man, that was bizarre. That was a weird...
It was so awkward.
I kind of loved it for that, but like, it was weird. It was a bit much.
It was very Japanese.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was very awkward. It was entertaining. Okay, right. I'll give it that. But it wasn't a good gaming conference by any means.
A lot of people were. A lot of people.
I was laughing at them, not with them.
A lot of people are hating the Metroid.
Oh yeah, it looks terrible. It looks miserable.
Yeah. Well, can you remember Metroid?
Metroid Prime
What was it?
Hunters on
'Cause-
DS.
No, Other M.
Oh,
Other M.
boy,
Oh.
yeah.
Like, just let Metroid die.
is,
like,
there's-
we liked the old
there are
ones.
games-
There's actually a petition up there. There's a petition up to ask Nintendo to cancel Metroid Prime.
Thank God, because Metroid was a great series. Let it die with dignity.
Exactly.
Some developers don't understand that you don't have to beat every character into Mario. You don't have to beat every character into the ground
Exactly.
before there's no likability left. Mario, I'm done with
Oh,
Mario.
no.
Mario can fuck off now.
Oh.
I'm done. There's too many Mario games.
Maker.
There's 5 billion
You want Mario
games.
Maker, don't you?
I don't know because do you know what annoyed me about Mario
What?
Maker? Was it Mario Maker?
Mario Maker.
It was a Maker game. Do you know not so
Was it PlayStation? Or...
Conker's Bad Fur
Oh,
Day?
yeah.
Yeah, the PlayStation one.
Oh, that was.
With the teased Conker's Bad Fur Day, the main character on the thing, and it turns out it's not an actual game.
Oh,
thing.
right. That was during Microsoft's thing like 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
That made me
basically
mad.
they put him on the. They put the squirrel. I forget. Was his name Conkers?
The squirrel, Conker. Yeah.
Yeah. They put Conker on the trailer.
Yeah.
And everyone thought, "Oh, a new game, and we've been waiting for ages." And then it was like, "No, it's just a world building
It
game."
was garbage, and it made me so mad. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're releasing
Like-
the rare replay thing for Xbox One.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool. I mean,
But it's not Rareware anymore, is it? They got bought out. It's not the original Rareware.
yeah, but it's just like a re-release of the old games, just like up-resed and all that junk.
I suppose
It's kinda
that's
cool,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. But yeah, the Nintendo thing was certainly weird.
Yeah, there were only a couple things I actually thought like looked good in it. Like Mario Maker, I thought looked kind of cool because I think the idea of people making levels.
we
would
need
be
some
fun.
new IP.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
I need some new IP. Nintendo have beaten their IP into the ground. There's nothing else they can do with it. Mario, contrary to popular belief, Mario has a shelf life. There will come a time when Mario will get boring. Maybe it's not yet. It is for me, but not for other people. But you can't keep on beating him into the ground forever. We need some new IP from Nintendo because they make some great games, and they're the king. They're the king of local multiplayer.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want, like, Nintendo know how to make local
True.
multiplayer games. Not so much online multiplayer. They kind of don't know how to do online multiplayer.
Yeah, tends to be an issue.
Yeah. But local multiplayer, they certainly know how to do it. So bring out some new. That's how you revitalize Nintendo.
Yeah, Matt.
Bring out a console that people will actually develop for. Like, because the Wii U has got like 3 developers and no one else develops for it. Like, there's no games on the
One
Wii U.
thing that like everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people seemed kind of hyped about was the new Star Fox Omega. I think it looks terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I have no interest in that. Like,
I never played Star Fox. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not so
know.
interested in
yeah,
Star
no,
Fox.
it's like I liked the older Star Fox games. Like Star Fox 64 was good, but like they're trying to mesh.
Is it not similar to? I thought it was like the old
It
one.
is, but
from what
so
I
like
saw.
at first they're showing him like flying through space, doing all stuff that it's like all right, it's like
Yeah.
fun basic gameplay, like entertaining, whatever. Then suddenly he lands on the ground and it's like a tank or a mech. I'm like, no, thank you, I don't want that.
Can you remember what was the one they brought out on? Was it Wii? Can you remember the Star Fox game? It was it was the newest
The
one.
was it the third person one where like you could get?
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Because there was Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube, and that was really rough.
That
Yeah.
one because
Oof.
for anyone who doesn't know, go and watch his video if you haven't seen it. John Tron does a brilliant video on that
I'll have
game.
to watch it.
He just rips it to shit.
Yeah.
Because Star Fox, I'm assuming it's a very popular IP. People love Star Fox.
Yeah, I think for a while people did. It might have fallen off a bit.
Well, the people who liked the game like Star
Right.
Fox.
But I think it's
people-
outdated mechanics. Though.
yeah.
Yeah, but
They-
people were begging for a new Star Fox game forever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they brought out Star Fox Adventures, and it was
Yeah.
terrible. But yeah, Nintendo, if you're listening, I know you're going to be listening.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Bring out some new IP because that's how you revitalize Nintendo. Because you're not very good at writing characters, but you know how to make them fucking fun. So bring out some new IP that you can get some real enjoyment out of. Stop beating the old ones into the ground. I'm done with it. I'm done with Nintendo. I can't do it anymore. I think that's the way you need to, because Nintendo are going downhill.
Oh yeah.
Real quick.
What would you do if Nintendo released a MOBA?
I wouldn't play it.
Well, it depends, right?
It'd be weird. It'd be kind of fun. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Please go like full like.
I don't think
oh,
they'll
using Wii,
they'll never release
using
one, I
Wii
don't think.
controls.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Using
Yeah,
Wii
wave your
controls.
arm like in front of the screen to slash at the creep or whatever.
Motion controls are the cancer
You're,
of the gaming
you're
universe.
fighting Goombas and stuff.
Yeah, there's motion controls in the new Star Fox, right?
Yeah, there's some
Oh,
stuff. It's like
God.
the little.
Oh god.
It's like the gyro
Wii U
thing.
thing.
Return.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
The weird thing is you move the plane with the analog sticks, but you move the reticle with the
Controller.
Wii U.
Yep. The Wii.
Yeah,
Tablet.
I mean the gamepad.
Yeah.
The gamepad.
Mm.
Yeah, the tablet.
So I assume we're finishing. So I just want to say one quick thing. It's not about E3, but I did see it the other day, so it's really cool. Has anyone heard of a singer called Avicii? Is a drum bass artist. So he did something really cool. So his music video, if you watch it on mobile, it's a 360-degree video. So if you turn your camera, your phone like that, you will see a different part of the
That's
thing.
cool.
Oh, nice.
I'll check that out.
Watch. I after we finish this, I recommend you watch it because you can you can, and then you can look at the ceiling and stuff, and it's a whole room. And there's some people dancing, and then they go away, and they come out the other side, and you can turn your phone.
That's insane.
It's so
Wow.
cool. Nothing about E3 guys, but I just
And on a positive note, you know.
it's really just really
For
cool.
sure.
If anyone hasn't seen it,
Okay, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
I don't think we
Yeah.
touch even half of E3.
Yeah.
well, you can't really.
There's so
Yeah.
much going on
It's
there.
probably 2-3 hours to do that.
I think we covered the most important.
Yeah,
parts.
definitely.
Yeah.
Bethesda, Nintendo, those kind of things, really important.
Yeah, thank you for listening to the Play on Ultra podcast. You can find us on playonultra.com. That's playonultra.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All the links will be on the website. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, like us, leave a comment, subscribe, and share us with your friends. If you're listening to us on iTunes,